We're just outside Sutton Place Hotel in Vancouver in unceded Coachella territory. Today has been the Imperial Metals AGM shareholder meeting. I'm with Sasheen and Kanahus from the Women's Warrior Society. So how did today go? How was that kerfuffle at the door, and what brought you guys out?
Well, this is to give a loud, clear message to the shareholders and to Imperial Metals that we do not give our consent. They do not have consent to operate in our territories, and we are going to use any tactics necessary to make this clear message for them.
I represent Ancestral Pride. I'm from Sunimix in Ahouset, and so we tried to get in. There was about 50 or 60 people, and we tried to get in the front doors. The cops met us with force. We met them with equal force. But the message that they're sending is that they're here not to protect people, like they say, to serve and protect the people of this city. They're here to serve and protect the corporate interests, and that's who's giving them money. There was a motion on the floor from a member named Eileen Floody from Cloquia Territory, Tofino. She asked that we be allowed to be in the meeting so that we could speak our mind and say our piece, and she wasn't even allowed to read the motion, or and so it just goes to show that Indigenous rights and title and our unceded territories mean nothing to these corporations. All they see is dollars. But yet, if there is somebody who is willing to lead the way from our lands, who say, oh yes, you can come in and accept money for mining, then all of a sudden we have all the rights and all the titles we need.
This following letter is a courtesy and a warning to investors and executives of this company, Imperial Metals. The legal ground on which this corporation has built its operations on is shifting rapidly. Imperial Metals does not have free, prior, and/or informed consent of the Indigenous nations it is consistently encroaching on. This puts Imperial Metals in a very precarious situation, a position that is made even more precarious by the enormity of the Mount Poly mine disaster and the continuing lack of ability or will of the corporation to effect any real restoration, physically or otherwise, to the Secwepemc for the losses this nation continues to suffer as a result.
We did confront some shareholders that were heading into the Imperial Metals AGM, and they were very racist to us as the Indigenous women. The natives give no consent for Imperial Metals to operate on our territory. Our homelands are unceded, unsurrendered. Hold your sign.
You're crazy.
Hold your
Absolutely
sign.
not true.
It is, because this is our homeland. This is the homeland. No.
Here for 5 generations.
What? It's your homeland?
Where does your money come from?
The money
Native
comes.
welfare.
No, the money comes
Indian
from our
Affairs Department.
territory.
I'm older than you. I've been here longer than you, so I have more rights than you do.
My ancestors really shows really clearly that we are operating within a racist country, a racist society, that these corporations like Imperial Metals, they come into our communities with that racism when they're making decisions. They do not think as the Indigenous people of the land. They think of us as welfare recipients and bums, and they are taking these resources off of unceded territories. They are taking it and they're making trillions of dollars off of our lands. Yet the Indigenous people remain the most impoverished people in our territories, and this has to change. The dynamics have to change, because we have faced a Holocaust with residential school, with being displaced onto Indian reservations, and like I said, it won't last very much longer. Our people are uprising. You look in Baltimore, you look at Ferguson, you look at these places in the U.S. where the young people are rising up. You look at Idle No More, where people came out in masses. It's still there, and we are uprising, and we will take back our land.